Hello, everyone. I'm Melissa Miranda from UiPath. I'm a content developer at UiPath, and I'm from the learning team at UiPath. Every time you log into academy.uipath.com, you see a list of courses and learning plans on UiPath Academy that talks about the various offerings of UiPath platform and also the different roles. But ever wondered who are those magicians creating that exciting and engaging content on UiPath Academy? It's none other than the learning team, and I am a part of that learning team. And today I want to thank UiPath community for giving me this opportunity to represent the learning team and talk about UiPath Academy and the recently launched specialized AI professional training on UiPath Academy. So let's get started. And I would like to tell you what's special about the specialized AI professional training. So let me share my screen for the same. Okay. As you log into academy.uipath.com and you click on the Learning Plans tab, you see a list of recently launched learning plans or trainings on UiPath Academy. So we'll focus on the specialized AI professional training on UiPath Academy. Now, to tell you about the specialized AI professional training. The specialized AI professional training is mainly for automation developers who want to dive deep into document understanding, communications mining, and with the help of AI capabilities, handle various complex projects that involves various documents and unstructured communications, use AI capabilities into it in your automation projects. So if you are one of them, one of those automation developers who want to dive deep into document understanding, communications mining, and AI, then this training is meant for you. The specialized AI professional training is tied to the specialized AI professional certification. As you can see this badge over here, and this is aligned to product version 22.10. Now, I would like to make a mention here that the specialized AI professional is not a standalone role. It is an automation developer specialization, which means that it has certain prerequisites before you take up the specialized AI professional training. Now, what are those prerequisites? Of course, you have to be an automation developer, which means you would have completed automation developer training and certification. The minimum required is automation developer associate training and certification. Of course, automation developer professional is recommended. By now, I'm sure you know that automation developer associate and automation developer professional have seen a name change. It was earlier called RPA Developer Foundation and RPA Developer Advanced, which is now renamed to Automation Developer Associate and Automation Developer Professional Training. So the hard prerequisite for this is automation developer training and certification. Associate minimum and professional is recommended so that you enjoy a smooth learning experience as you dive deep into document understanding concepts. All in all, let me talk about what are the courses covered in here and how many courses do we have. In fact, I want to talk about how we have designed and developed this course, keeping you, the learners, in mind. We have heard from you learners, we have heard that there was only one document understanding overview course on Academy, and there was a need for more. There's a need for more that is you wanted to dive deep into document understanding, how to build document understanding models, how to train models, deploy the ML skills, and how to use the DU process template, and how to handle various complex projects. What are the tips and tricks that you should follow, how to encounter challenges, so on and so forth. So we have come up with a whole package. We have designed a whole package in the form of specialized AI professional training. So in simple, the specialized AI professional training comprises of 3 sections. That is, you'll get a deep dive into AI Center, document understanding, and communications mining. So all in all, it comprises of 13 courses of 22 hours each, at the end of which you will unlock an specialized AI professional assessment, after which you can take up the specialized AI professional certification. Now, I don't want to get into all the details of what are the topics covered in each of the courses and so on. I leave it to Lahiru, where he's going to share his experience on the technical aspects. But I would like to tell you how we have designed the courses for you all. So in the introduction section, we start off with the pre-training survey, where we ask you a set of simple questions on what is your experience with automation, what is your experience with AI technology, so on and so forth, just so that we get an idea of where our learners stand. In the Introduction to Specialized AI course, we talk about the cutting edge technology, the specialized AI and the generative AI, and how they both can work together, and what is the integration of UiPath platform with specialized AI. Also, you'll get a clear understanding of the specialized AI professional role And all details about the examination are also covered in here. Next, we dive into the concepts. We talk about UiPath AI Center, which is a building block. All about consuming, managing, and deploying models is covered in the AI Center overview course. It has an end-to-end preview of starting from logging into AI Center and back to Studio, closing that entire loop. We have a real-world scenario demonstrating video and practice exercise, which will give you an idea about AI Center overview. Next section, we have the document understanding. In this section, we have 4 courses on document understanding. The first course is the document understanding overview course. Now, this course is meant for not just automation developers, but for anyone, be it a business analyst, a solution architect, a project manager, or anyone who wants to know about document understanding and who wants to get a broad perspective of document understanding. So if anyone who wants to know about document understanding or just explain what is document understanding to your clients or customers, then this particular course is for you. Next up, we dive deep into the concepts of document understanding. So we have topics like builder document, courses like builder document understanding automation in Studio, train ML models for document understanding, and the DU process template Studio. I would like to click on one of the courses, say train ML models, and show you what we have in store for you and how we have designed this course, keeping the learners in mind. So I would like to just show you one. I'll just pick one of the lessons in here and show you how we have designed from the learning perspective so that it is helpful for you and you become skilled automation developers. So our courses typically cover enablement content. We have engaging videos, we have practice exercises, we have challenges, so on and so forth. Let me show you. I'll just click on one of the lessons over here. So all the content that you see in here is verified by the subject matter experts. And of course, we have received all the resource materials from the product team, and the content is verified by the subject matter experts. We have demo videos, which are created by our in-house experts. In fact, I would like to mention here that even MVP Lahiru Fernando has contributed to the development of the courses in document understanding. With his vast experience and expertise in document understanding, he has helped us in creating use case demo videos, practice exercises, and advanced challenges for these document understanding courses. So we have the engaging videos here that revolve around real world scenarios. And we have also included the sample documents that are used in these demo videos and also the workflow so that you get a hang of what was being done and what was shown. We also have the exercises here. And when talking about exercise, we are not leaving you just as is with the challenge. All exercises are provided with a step-by-step guide and solution. So initially, we launch you all so that you put the knowledge into action by trying out the exercise on your own. But of course, towards the end, we have a step-by-step detailed guide with instructions and screenshots to help you with the workflows and in your automation journey. But after that, we want you to try out on your own. We want you to drive the wheel. And so we have tried something new here, that is to have advanced challenge. And all of these challenges are provided by UiPath MVP Lahiru Fernando, and we have his commitment to help you all, in fact, the entire UiPath community, MVPs, to help you all as you face any issues or hurdles when you're working through this automation. So what we have here is an advanced challenge for each of these courses. I'm just showing you one of the courses and the structure so that you get an idea of how our courses are designed and developed. So there is one such challenge over here, and we have provided the sample documents for you to work on this challenge. And towards the end, we ask you to upload these challenges in the UiPath forum. The solution to these challenges in the form of a workflow, and certain instructions are put in here. I'm just going to click on this UiPath forum, which I've already opened here in order to save us a few seconds. So this is how it looks, where we ask you to upload your workflows and discuss any issues or any doubts, any hurdles you face as you progress in your workflows. And we have the swift response by our UiPath community and MVP Lahiru's dedication and commitment over here to help you through your learning journey. So this is something new that we have tried. We want you to try this out and share your feedback on how this has helped you and your learning journey. We want to hear from you. Your voice matters to us. So forum discussions are something, feedback from mentors and coach is something that we have included in here. And of course, we have we have check your understanding, that is the knowledge check questions. And then there's something more. We know that you will be dealing with complex projects in your day-to-day automation projects that you work on. And there might be times when you encounter some pitfalls. So what are some tips and tricks on how to overcome those challenges or how to avoid those challenges? So we have the best practices guide. As of now, it doesn't let me until I clear the check your understanding, but I have it opened over here. So this is one such best practice guide, which is available on UiPath Academy in the courses, that gives you pro tips on how to perform, maybe how to train a model, how to build a model, what are the right engines, OCR engines that you need to use, what are the right ML extractors, what should you use, what should you not use. These are basically tried, tested, and verified by our subject matter experts. And all of this is included in the courses so that you get a better experience with the entire journey. So this is what we have in our document understanding courses. And this is what I wanted to share with you all, that all our courses are designed and created in this format where we cover all of these engaging and interactive elements in there and help you in handling various complex projects. The next section for us is the UiPath Communications Mining, where we have an overview course. This comprises of 7 courses. We have fundamentals of model training and how to train the model, starting from various phases: setup, discover, explore, refine, and maintaining the model. After you complete all these sections, you will unlock an assessment. And once you clear the assessment, you will receive the diploma of completion for the specialized AI professional training, after which you will be eligible to answer the specialized AI professional certification. Now, since in order to celebrate the launch of these certifications, we are currently offering discounts on the certification, on the automation developer track certification, as well as the specialized AI certification. And we are offering 50% discounts until the 30th of November. I hope you make the best out of this DU series enablement sessions that you had, and also take up the learning plan, specialized AI training and certification, and grab this golden opportunity and be a UiPath certified specialized AI professional. If you want to know more about the certification, all of the details are provided in the certification tab of UiPath Academy. If you have even further questions or you think certain questions are not answered, you can click on the contact tab over here and click on the certified professional FAQ, which more or less has answers to most of the frequently asked questions. But even beyond, if you think your questions are not answered, feel free to write to us, to write to UiPath community, to write to any of us, and we will be more than happy to help you on your learning journey. So on that note, I want to encourage you to take up the learning plan and the certification. The specialized AI training comprises of AIC, document understanding, and the communications mining courses. All in all, it's a full package. I encourage you to take up the certification, the training, as well as the certification, and share your success stories and motivate your fellow learners and inspire others to take up the certification. That's all I had for you all. I hope you found this session insightful. If you have any questions, please share them in the chat. Thank you and happy learning. I will stop sharing.
Okay. I will take up from here. Thank you,
Sure.
Melissa. So before I start, okay, so someone has a question for Melissa. There is having issues in purchasing a voucher for the course. Maybe you can give some tips.
Yes, I would request you to email me on this and what is the problem that you're facing. Then I can direct you to the concerned person. I hope that helps. I also read your question, Monica. What about the one for ABA, that is the Automation Business Analyst certification? Currently, we are offering discounts for the Automation Developer Track certification and the Specialized AI Professional certification because they were recently launched. But the Business Analyst is not at a discounted rate at the moment.
Okay, cool. So before I start, I like to ask all of you a question. Have you all worked on any document understanding project before, other than your learning? can mention it here or you can put it in the chat just to get an idea. Anyone? Okay. Okay, so in that case, I can maybe tell you, okay, so someone has worked on POCs, that's good. I can also tell you some of the use cases as we talk about the, the program. And so just to start, I'll tell you, and I think I emphasized this point yesterday as well during our machine learning session, why learning about AI is important. Um, so the main thing here is, um, so far, when it comes to RPA projects, we have been doing a lot of the process automation side of things, right? But now recently, we all are talking about AI, and there are a lot of things happening around AI. So for us, we as RPA developers, solution architects, or business analysts, whoever we are in the RPA domain, we need to understand how we can use AI within our automation solutions. The reason is there are a lot of people, a lot of companies who are requesting this information, and they all want to somehow implement automation in their processes. This is mainly to introduce automation for more complicated tasks. So just hold on a second. So Melissa, do you hear a lot of background noise from my side?
No, I don't.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So what I was saying is about the demand for these things, and for me, I kind of lead the AI practice in our company. So every day I kind of get into different discussions with different people across the world where they want to use either generative AI or the other AI capabilities related to document processing or communications mining to automate their processes and their data. So this is why this role is becoming very important, this specialized AI professional role. And the best place to start is with the course that we are looking at, the advanced or the specialized AI professional training. So that is why this is important. And what you can do in these kind of roles. So basically, if you are a developer, you need to know how to develop AI models, how to use existing AI models. It could be Gen AI, it could be models in AI Center within your processes. And you also need to know how to train these models. So this includes some of the topics that we discussed yesterday in the session. And other than that, if you are a solution architect, um, you need to design the solutions to address complicated scenarios. I'll explain some of those use cases in a while that I have seen. So all of us will have to play a role in this world of AI. So this specialized AI course will include the information, everything that you need to know for UiPath side about the role, about the specialized AI models available, and document understanding, and also communications mining. Why communications mining here in this role? So when it comes to AI, DU and communications mining and all the other AI capabilities that we have in the AI center goes hand in hand. So even the documents that you can get it from the emails that you get, and the emails can be processed to understand the context, understand the sentiments, and all the other information through communications mining, and that can then lead to document understanding where you can even process the documents and you can combine all this information and do a lot of processing internally. So this is why all these things are connected. And if you look at the AI center, as I showed yesterday, you have the document understanding models, you also have the language analysis, image detection, image processing, all these models are there. So it is important to understand how to process these different, uh, how to apply these models in different scenarios and to decide which, which model to use and when to use it and how to train it. So all that information is covered in this training. So the best place to start is with the specialized AI and then understand how the AI center works. In AI center, you have different areas like the data set, you have the pipeline, uh, and then you have the skills, and then you have all the other information that you need to know how to evaluate the models and how to upgrade it to latest versions. So first, get a good understanding about AI Center. And then when it comes to document understanding, of course, you need to know the basics of UiPath. You need to know how to build a flow and you need to know what are the different activities because this is an advanced course. And so if you have not done that, make sure you cover all that information and then start the document understanding part. So when it comes to DU, we will be covering a lot of topics. This includes the general overview of document understanding. We will also cover a lot of things around the different activities we have in DU. We will cover the best practices. You will have a lot of attachments that you can download and refer to in in the course itself, such as the best practices on how to use the activities, best practices in how to train the models. So there's quite a lot of things that you can refer within the course itself. And not just that, you will also have a lot of information around the AI unit because this was a question for a lot of people how the consumption is. So now all that information is there, in the overview course itself, where you can refer how the AI units are consumed by different models and the classifiers. In addition to that, we have different platforms. We have the cloud version of UiPath. We also have the on-premise version. And the architecture of these two are different. In the on-prem, you have to set up a lot of things and you need to know how these things are connected in the on-premise environment. But in the cloud, you have everything, you just need to use it. So this course will also cover that information. This was not available anywhere before. We have a lot of extra and a lot of very interesting information that you can refer within these 4 courses that you have. Yes, so that being said, then when it comes to the content in these courses, such as the automation in studio, let me try to show my screen. Yeah, so I'm referring to these 4 courses over here. So if we look at the overview, I cover some of the things that are already mentioned there. And when it comes to the document understanding automation in Studio, this kind of gives you a lot of video use cases to show you how this is implemented and how the different activities are connected to each other in a simple way, just like you do in your foundation course to understand basics. So it's the same concept here. This covers the basics on the activities. Using a video use case, it also have a step-by-step guide, just like Melissa mentioned. And lastly, you have an extra use case. And why we decided to include this use case is because learning is good, but you also need to see how you can apply this knowledge in in a use case that is kind of close to some real world use cases so that you can get the real feel, at least not the exact real feel but at least up to some extent. So that's the whole idea of having that extra use case where you can submit it in the forum and me and a lot of other people who are experts in document understanding can help you and support you once you upload the information. So you may have a completely working solution or you may have issues. So you can just post all those things there, and we will review, and we will connect with you. We will help you to fix those, and we will also help you with the best practices. So it's not just a review. You can just ask anything. You can upload your solution. We will have a look at it. We'll also suggest how better you can do so that you improve as you go. So there is an extra. This same structure is available in all of these three the courses that address the basics, machine learning part, and also the document understanding template. The use cases are different in each course, addressing different challenges that you come across when processing documents, because document understanding flow-wise it may look easy, but sometimes you get documents that are very challenging. So you need to know how to address different scenarios in these documents. So for example, in documents, you may have checkboxes. In documents, you may have different ways of representing data, like within boxes. So how to identify that, how to do the conversion, how to do the validation, how to train models, how to make your templates dynamic to address different scenarios. So all those things are little things that you need to know. So all those things are covered in this use case. So it's important while you do it, don't skip, do all those use cases, get the understanding, and if there's anything, you can always reach out to. And also you will have a lot of best practice guides that you can download. I'm just repeating that again. And then comes the communications mining part. So this is the next important one after document understanding. This covers how you can process unstructured data that you get through emails. So communications mining was previously referred as reinfo. So it is much better now with communication mining, the latest version. So there are a lot of interesting features that you can refer to, that you can learn. And you can also learn how to train the models, how to define the fields that you need, how to define the entities and so on. So all those sort of things, there are different keywords when it comes to communications mining. So you can learn about all of these things here. And then finally, you have the assessment. So just like you have an assessment for UI ARD, UI RPA, it's something similar where you can practice, because we also have the specialized certification where you can get certified on AI. So this is a good place to practice. After you have covered all those use cases, try to do that. If there's anything, you can always refer back to the content, or else you can also refer us. You can reach out to us. We can help and guide you throughout this process. So that's something I have. And also in this forum links, I can just show you. So this is one link for that additional exercise. You can already see there are a few people who have uploaded this. So I'll be reviewing these things after this call, and I'll be providing feedback here itself. So there are like 3 links for the 3 use cases, which you can do to upload. So it's nothing different. It's just like how you ask a question in the forum. Just upload your information and ask anything. You can mention anything that you want to know, and I will refer to those things. But make sure when you're uploading, just include all those things that are mentioned in the in this use case. So down here, this kind of gives you a hint on what kind of things you need to do while you're doing the use case. It is not a step-by-step guide. It is just like you get a use case, it tells you what you need to do, and you need to think a little bit based on the knowledge you have gained, and you can be creative. And I have already seen several use cases. I have reviewed with them, and I have seen them being creative and coming up with very interesting solutions. So try that. This is actually a fun and an interesting thing. Yeah. So then follow those things, and we can help you. And I have something special for the people who are here today. Since I will also be actively supporting this extra use cases on and also any other queries related to document understanding, I can give you a special opportunity to connect with me directly on WhatsApp itself for all of you. So I will share a link. You can join with me there, and I will personally guide and support you throughout your AI and document understanding journey. Melissa, you have anything extra to add?
Lahiru, I think you're pretty much covered everything in detail, and I'm really happy to note that people have started submitting their workflows and are taking up the advanced challenge quite seriously. And I encourage learners to get inspired by this and take up the training and the certification as well. We are all here to support you. Lahiru is here to help you with your issues and feedback or anything or any hurdles that you face or any extra help that you need during your learning journey. Thank you. We have a couple of questions, or please unmute yourself.
I have one query. This is Kamala. Actually, I got a chance to work on a project in DU. We developed a POC, but later we calculated AA units and the client don't want to move it to deployment. Okay. So I want to know from deployment perspective, what and all the things that has to be taken care.
Good question. So is this cloud deployment or on-premise?
Cloud.
Okay. So when it comes to the deployment part, you need to definitely have the AI units depending on, so the calculation has to be based on what AI concepts you are using. So if you are using AI modules in the AI center, just check the documentation, see how the calculated consumption is for the different modules and for running the pipeline, doing the evaluation, keeping the model at open, active, and running always will also consume some units. So consider all of those things and calculate the number of AI units that you may need depending on the volume as well. So always calculate it for a year. There are also different AI unit calculators that you can find that can also help. So annual calculation will give you an idea what's the package that you need to offer them. In addition to that, once you are going to deploy it to the cloud, the main thing is you may already have a trial version enabled if you have if you're already using like a model just before getting the licenses. So you can use the same AI models and just activate the enterprise license for the same environment. I remember we did the same approach for one of the clients because they were very new for UiPath. And for them, we had to introduce different AI models, but before getting the licenses, they wanted to see a POC, just like what you are doing. So we activated a trial and we showed them how it works. And then when they are okay with it, we gave the same environment information so that they can purchase the license for the same environment and convert that to enterprise version. So they're using it as of now. So it will be easier for you because you don't need to do like data transfers from one place to another. It will be the same environment. And on the orchestrator side, it's just the usual configuration, connecting your machines and so on. But make sure you give the proper permission, just like you do for any other RPA project. For AI stuff, it's the AI center. So if you have it activated in the environment, you're all good.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I can also maybe share some use cases just to give you an idea what kind of use cases we might come across while doing this. After learning, let me just open it up. future ready. So these are some use cases that I have worked on. This is like few of them. There were few interesting use cases around child welfare and few information for finance teams, and also for some legal departments in a different organization. So I am sharing this info is to give you an idea about what kind of use cases that you may come across when you talk to different people, when you're specialized in this, and when people ask to do automation. So the two on the left, the two child welfare things are kind of like very complicated ones, because in these two, so for the first one, the foster family application, this is for a client in US. So they do a lot of child welfare related stuff, and to adopt a child for them, they need to fill or process a lot of documents, and they have more than 80 different documents just for one application. And for them, they get all these documents in one PDF file. So this also refers to a question that someone asked yesterday about including multiple document types in a single solution. So in this case, we had 80 different document types, like legal documents, education documents, and so on. And for each one, there are like multiple documents. So let's say if it's medical, you can have different medical documents, right? Medical reports or tests, and so many other stuff. So we had to identify all those information, and we had to identify those different documents depending on its content. So the challenge here is we have to figure out what classifier to use. Can we use the keyword classifier? No, because it's too complicated and we cannot really be specific with keywords. And since it's a big document that we get, like 200, 300, and even more pages, we have to split it. So considering that knowledge we had, we thought, okay, the intelligent keyword classifier will work here because we need to split and we cannot really be specific with keywords. So we trained an intelligent keyword classifier for this, and it really worked. And even today, they have been using this for some time now, and it's giving a lot of good success rate. And when it comes to extraction, we had to use different data extraction methods. The documents are different all the time. So for certain types we use the form extractor. For certain types we use the regex, and even other AI capabilities depending on what those documents are. So it's like complicated processes. And then when it comes to the case management one, it's also another complicated one where you have even more documents. This time it's 150 different documents. And if you wonder whether we have a single process to process all these 150, yes, it is the single process that handles all of these things. You may wonder why can't we have a separate process for each? You may, but for this case, all of these documents belong to a single process, and we cannot come up with separate workflows to process each and every document because it's too much. And the best way to handle it is within a single process. So it's easier for us, easier for them to manage it. And in terms of scalability, it's also easy. So how we take these decisions is based on our experience and the knowledge that we have in document understanding. So it is why it is important for you to learn those from the basic stuff to the advanced on in document understanding. So you can, if you get a use case like this, you can really think about it and understand what I need to do. So this also includes some of the topics that I covered yesterday, like document layouts and how we handle different things in different scenarios, if you remember, for the people who joined yesterday. So there are a lot of things to look at, and all these things are also covered in the course as well. And then the other one is the invoice processing one. So here it was another interesting use case because now this is all about machine learning. Kind of refers to the topics I talked about yesterday. So in this case, it's a big company and their team was processing invoices they get from, so they have offices in different countries. So the idea was to identify 12 countries where they have offices and to support the accounting team in these countries. So we identified the countries, and each country had their own language. So these countries included like Spain, Mexico, and Italy, and several other countries. I can't remember the whole list, but these are few. And each had their different languages. And in each country, they were getting invoices from more than 150 vendors because this is a very big company. So you can just imagine the volume they are processing, right? And you can also imagine, because this is invoices, the different layers that you may come across. So it requires a lot of training and focus on training a good AI model to handle different scenarios. So here, the key thing here is identifying the models that support different languages and identifying whether we need to use multiple AI models or can we train a single model that can process invoices that come from all of these 12 countries. How do you take that decision? So those are the things that you need to understand by learning. And then the next one, this is for legal document data extraction. This one is a totally different use case because here the requirement was different. In their case, these documents are like very unstructured. They were having a lot of legal documents. And for them, the requirement was not to identify like names of people, locations, and those kind of stuff. For them, they want to understand the context of the document, the structure of the document. When I say the structure, it's like the introduction, and when it comes to the next section, what are the different headings, what are the subheadings, and what is the content inside each. Their interest was identify that and then extract the text inside each and every section. So if it's the introduction, they want the whole introduction section extracted because they use it to do several other stuff in the internal process. So for that, they wanted the exact text, not the summary, not a transformed version of it, just the exact text. So that's why it's another complicated one. So here, so yesterday I talked about generative AI. So here we use the generative AI capability to process it because the requirement was different and it's vastly dynamic. These documents are very different. We can't even imagine what kind of headings it will have. These are some interesting and challenging use cases that I have come across that I have worked on. And there were a lot of things to learn from each and every use case. And all that is very helpful for us to work with future challenges. Yeah, so something I wanted to share. Questions, I see someone unmuted. Okay, I'm looking at the chat. So there's a question. While do you project if structured forms, PDF files in this document field in Japanese language, how to deal with it? Which extractors are better? Okay, so when it comes to Japanese and Chinese, there are different. This is a different challenge because not all OCRs work with these languages. But with UiPath, I think there is a different version of the UiPath document OCR that supports specifically these languages. So you can try using that to work on your languages. Or else if the OCR engine that you use doesn't support, you can always use any other OCR like the Microsoft Omnipage, and you have so many options. Just look at what OCR works with these languages and try to integrate that with your DU workflow. That will help. Okay. I'm looking at another question. If I don't want to purchase licensed version of UiPath because I want to use for practice purpose at my own system. So could you help tell what are those max number of features? Okay. So in the UiPath cloud, the community version also supports certain features for UiPath, like the form extractor, but it has some limitations because it's a community version. But what you can do is if you want to use the AI capabilities or the document understanding service, then you can easily enable the DU, the enterprise trial that will be active for 60 days. So you can use that within that period. And if you think you need to have more time to work on certain things, you can do a request to extend it at the end. So that will help Rishit. For the community version, in terms of AI units, it does not. I think it for community version, you have a limit on the number of pages you can process and the file size, if I remember. But if you activate the trial, you have a limit of 5,000 AI units. Okay, so there's another question on how to prepare for the document understanding certification. So Sridevi, for this, I think the best way to prepare is start with the specialized AI certification program that we talked about just a while ago. So understand the DU certification will cover a lot of things around the specialized AI role and AI center, document understanding, the studio activities, and the modules that you are going to use. Then it will also have questions around communication mining. So it's a good place. The good practice is start with the specialized learning plan, and that will help you a lot to understand the different functionalities that's available. And you can also connect with us for any extra information.
Hello. Hello, Leru.
Yes.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Actually, I was having one question. Like, how to do classification where we have two types of invoice data. Like, suppose there is a one supplier and one classifier. So, how we will distinguish? Like, there are some PDFs of supplier and there is some PDFs of classifier. How should we classify them?
Can you repeat the question? Like, uh, classify information from supplier, and the other one was not clear.
Sorry.
Can you repeat the question? I partially understood.
Actually, there are invoices in which we have to distinguish that some invoices are of classifier, some invoices are supplier, and some invoices are of classifier. It's like there are supplier and one is another type of invoices. Like we have to differentiate those invoices. So how should we classify them?
A way where you can identify the two different documents, either using some keywords or using some other mechanism. The classification usually works with keywords. Keyword classifier, intelligent keyword classifier, both. If you can identify some unique keywords that are only available for that specific type, then you can use that to classify these two as into those two categories that you're looking for.
Okay. Thank you, Leila.
We have more questions. Hey, does DU plays a major part in citizen developer role? If yes, how should a non-technical background person should start his career? Well, for now, so far from the people that I have connected with, I have not seen it, but still there was one client that we work with, and they have a requirement even for citizen developers. Where I actually got a request from one guy. He's a non-technical person, and he wanted to process some documents that he gets to automate his one of his activities. So for that, in terms of learning, it requires a little bit of technical understanding because DU activities are available for citizen developers up to some extent, but still, if you're going to use some advanced capabilities like machine learning, you still need to learn it a little bit. But the good thing about this is, if you look at the document understanding service that's available, it is much more simpler, and you can easily train your models there just with few clicks. The main thing here is, if you want to train a custom model, you just need to understand a bit on how to label and stuff. But still, it's doable. So it requires a little bit of training though. And I can also tell you one example. There was one of the use cases that's special, that especially that invoice processing use case that I showed you earlier. Because of the volume, we cannot train all for all the scenarios. So what we did is we kind of introduced an interesting approach. These again the business users. We had several workshops to train them on how to train the model, because it's not a difficult thing to do, right? They know their invoices, they know where to pick the data from. Only thing they need to learn is just the labeling part. So we train them on how to do that so that it's much efficient in terms of model training, and they also get the hang of it on how to use how to address different scenarios. And that was a successful approach. They supported a lot in training side of things, but we were there to help and guide on the technical sides and the best practices and so on. But people do it. If you want to train the model, how many AI robot units are required? So this depends on the number of training pipelines that you are going to create. Because each pipeline execution will consume some number of AI units. I don't remember the number on top of my head right now, but so each training will consume, but this is something that you need to come up with. Like, so if you're training, just identify the different scenarios as I explained yesterday if you were there in the session, or else you can watch the video. There are a few things that you need to cover in training and identifying the document number of documents that you need. So try to go through that and then do the initial training and then do an evaluation so that you understand how your model is performing. And then you can decide how many more training runs you will need. But yeah, but for each run, it will consume some number of licenses. Any prerequisites to train the machine learning models? Yes, there are some. So I covered a lot of things yesterday in the machine learning session. So it's a lengthy session, so I recommend you to look at that video. The recording is already available, so you can get more understanding about that. Okay. Document titles and fields. using that we use to classify. Okay. I think this is from Kamala. Can you explain this message? It's a bit not clear. Okay. Yeah. Is there anything else that I did not cover? You can also unmute and ask. I'm trying to find more questions. I have invoices from 10 different vendors. Now, how many times I have to define taxonomy? Taxonomy, you need to define only once because taxonomy was in the workflow, and you just need to tell these are the number of fields that you need to extract from the different invoices, and you just need to train the model on these different vendors, and you can map it to the same taxonomy. So it's only once. Okay. Any more questions?
Tahiru, Parvati had a question. Can we have a session on communications mining as well?
Yeah, I think we can arrange one. What do you think, Marisa? I think we can do one, right?
Yes, for sure.
So we'll plan for another session on communications mining to cover the details around it. I'll talk to Rohit and try to arrange something.
Sure. There's another question from Parvati. Tahiru, may I know what were the challenges you faced during your experience with DU?
Okay. Interesting question. All right. So there were different challenges. So again, referring back to those use cases, right? These were like some of the first use cases that I worked on, especially the child welfare thing. So there were different challenges when it comes to documents itself. So it's a lot of learning for me as well through these use cases. Some of the challenges was the users will give you the documents as it is. And we need to use those documents to train our model. So when it comes to that document splitting use case, getting like 200, 300 page documents will not help to train a model. So what I had to do is I had to understand first how the intelligent keyword classifier works. Can I just submit one big document and it trains for all the different types? No. So I had to figure out how to split the documents to train. What's the best way to split? So what the best method was, for each document, if you have like multiple pages, you can have a one separate file for that specific type that has those pages included. So if it's like an invoice, you can say, okay, so the first page of the invoice, second, third, and fourth, all that is one file. But it's not like all the invoices in one big file. It's not like that. For each document, just club all the related pages together and create a separate file so you don't confuse the classifier. And that was the most optimal way of training it. And there was another scenario again with classification where we had to identify the different pages. So the interesting thing was there was a document with 3 pages, but these 3 pages were not in the same order. So if it's like a 10-page document, these 3 pages will not be in the second, third, and fourth. One page will be in the second page, and the other page will be in the 6th page, and another one will be in the 10th page. That was another challenge that I had. It all depends on how the different users create these documents. For us, it was not possible to train the users and tell them, hey, you need to follow this to order to create the file, because we don't even know who creates the file. So what we have to do is, when we are training the classifier, we had to make sure the classifier understands each page separately, and at the end, once it identifies that, we kind of club those pages together in one file by splitting and merging it together. So those were different challenges I had when it comes to classification. But when it comes to the model training, again, when you have so many different layouts, identifying the sample size, identifying what invoices that you need to train, what are the invoices that the pre-trained model can already process. So initially for me, when I was doing that for the first time, it was tricky, because right now we have all this information on YouTube and also in the academy now. But back then there was this information was not there. So we had to figure out on our own. So those were some challenges that I had. But yeah, so those are some later experiences. Anything else I missed? Yes. No.
I have one question with sentiment analysis. I know I've asked it previously, but I want to hear from you as well. How are you going to deal with the true negative and false positive uh, predictions?
So there are different ways to do it. Once you receive the feedback, okay, so there was a use case. Again, I'm referring to another use case. I did not mention it on the slide, but again, I had a use case where we had to figure out the sentiment of different emails. So in this case, we use the sentiment analysis model, and depending on the confidence levels that we are getting, we kind of used it as a parameter to figure out what is the result. But regarding the question, we also had that problem. So we kind of introduced several validation methods later, so that either some of those, depending on certain checks that we follow, it redirects to the validation screen where the user can just verify what it is, and follow some method like that. And there was another one where we kind of used a custom version, because they had their own AI team, and they kind of created their custom. This is another company though. They kind of created their custom tool, which was integrated into UiPath AI Center, because you can upload the custom models. And for that, depending on the result, we kind of introduce the feedback loop, so it learns on its own. So those are different approaches that we use. So just introducing different validation methods. We need to figure out what kind of validations to introduce depending on your use case. Because just relying on the confidence may not be the best way all the time. So just try to introduce different steps to check whether the result is accurate, or if you're not sure, you can put it into manual verification. Anything else? Okay, so I guess there are no more questions. Melissa, do you have anything else to share, or are we good? If you're okay, then you can maybe wrap up with nothing else.
I guess we've covered most of it. My only point for the learners here is to take up the specialized AI professional training. It has the AI Center and document understanding as well as communications mining courses. And like Lahiru also explained the technical aspects of it, I would also want to highlight the fact that we have designed and developed these courses by keeping the learners in mind. We want you to be full-fledged and skilled in handling complex automation projects. So we have the best practices guide in there. So do take a look at it. We have the challenges. We want you to submit your submissions in the forum and participate in the discussion, know what your fellow learners are doing, and learn from mistakes and learn from the issues and hurdles that you face. We have the UiPath community helping you around. We have the commitment of our MVPs to help you in your learning journey. So don't miss this opportunity. Take up the training, take up the certification, and stay ahead of the curve. That's all that I want to tell you all.
And if you want any support and guidance, you can always reach out to me. I shared you the link already. So just message me anytime. Don't be shy to talk. Cool. So if nothing else, then we can wrap up. So thank you so much for joining, and we'll talk to you soon again. And you are.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. Bye.
Bye.